Okay guys, so what we're going to be looking at here is an example of an Access paper. So this paper over here, we're going to start from step 23. So if you have your folders, this paper should be in that folder, that step-by-step guide. So this first video, we're going to look at how to import a file into Access. So before you start working or importing these files into Access, you'll first have to open up Access. So say using a suitable database package, import the file s16cars.csv. So all you're going to do is just make sure you have Access open. So when you open up Access, you'll probably get something very similar. This is the 2010 version. You have the 2016 version on the computers. You're just going to make sure that you select blank database. You'll probably double click on it, or if you click on blank database and click on create, it'll create a database for you. So this is what you'll have without any files imported. So to import a file into Access, you'll go to External Database at the top, click on Text File, and what you're going to do is you're going to go and browse for those files that we want to import. So you also know the location of the files that you want to use. So mine are in this folder over here. So the file that we're going to import is S16 cars. So we select it and we say open, and then we say OK. Okay, so this is basically things to memorize. So we always select delimited. There we go, next. We always tick first row contains field names, and then we click on advanced. So what we want to do now is basically we have the field names and the data type shown here. And what we want to do is make sure that what we see in front of us matches what we have on our page. So on your paper, you'll see this VIN text, model text, power text, etc. We need to make sure what we see is what we have here. So the first four on the page should be text. So you can see we have VIN's text, models text, power is text, but engine size over here is long integer. But on our page, engine size should be text. So we change this to text. Your computer might say short text, which is correct, which is the same thing. Cost price should be currency. So instead of long integer, we're going to make this currency. Color text, distributed text, dispatched. It says long integer, but dispatched on our page should be Boolean. So Boolean is the yes/no field. So that's all you do. You make sure what you see over here matches the table that you are given. The field names, you're making sure that they have the correct data types according to our exam. So we say OK. There we go, next. We leave this window. We go next. Now we're always going to choose a primary key. So they told us here, set the VIN key as the key field. So we say choose my own primary key. From the drop-down list, you'll choose the field they want us to, which is VIN. Go next and finish. It'll say it's finished importing. So we don't want to save the import steps. It might be different every time. So we hit close. And on the left side, you can just right click and say open, or you can double click on it. And you'll see the table has now been imported into Access. Just one thing to note is that your dispatched field, according to the page, they said it is the Boolean logical data type, which is the yes/no field. But if you look at our values, you'll see it's negative ones and zeros. So we just need to change this. So if you click on dispatched, and then you click on fields at the top, you'll see the data type's yes/no, but the format is blank. So we change the format to yes/no, and you can see it's changed now. Okay, so that is how to import a table. So now we'll do step 24, which is another table we have to import. This time it's S16 distributors. So what we do now, same process, external data, text file, browse, distributors, and we continue. It's always delimited, so we go next. We always tick first row contains field names. Now the only difference between this instruction and this one is that here they gave us a table with the data types for the fields, and in step 24 they do not give us that. So most of the time you probably don't have to change anything, but to be safe, it's always good to check by eye if the data types make sense. So if you click on Advanced, and you move this table across, if you look at distributor code, these values here are all text, which makes sense as text. Contact name, this is all text. First name is all text. Address 1, letters and numbers, so that's still text. City's text, region is still text. So if you look at across, if you go across now, there's port and country, these are all text too. So everything over here is text. But just check by eye. Sometimes you have to change something that doesn't make sense. For example, if port was a number, if it contained values like 1200, etc., etc., then you could maybe change port to something of a number form, which could be long integer if there are no decimals, or you could choose double if there were decimal values, or currency if it was in pounds or euros, etc. But they will tell you basically to specify whether or not it will be in currency, because probably you won't get the symbol appearing, so you won't be able to tell actually if it's in pounds or euros. But yeah, so you just check by eye whether or not your data types make sense. Then you say OK. You go next. You skip this window. You always choose a primary key, and this time they say distributor code, so you just make sure from the list you choose distributor code, and you go next and finish. Okay, so it's finished importing. You say close. You can double click on it, and you can see that it has been successful. So I'll do the evidence now. So basically take a screenshot showing the field names and the data types used in the two tables, and insert these screenshots into your evidence document. So this is for evidence 3. So I'll just go down to the bottom of this paper, just an example. You'll get your evidence document, and you'll just, most of the time, or you'll have to create one. But the process is the same. You'll have evidence 3 as your title, or the step number. So this evidence requires us to take a screenshot showing the field names and data types used in the two tables. Insert these screenshots into your evidence document. So we need the field names and the data types of both of the tables. So the best place to do this, we'll start with this cars. You go to Home at the top, go to View, Design View. So here is a table which shows the field names, the data types, and the primary key. So we take a screenshot of this. We go and paste this under evidence 3, and then we crop what we don't need. So we only show the field names and the data types. And then we enlarge it so it has to be visible, else if the examiner cannot see what you have pasted here, you won't get many marks for it. So we do the same for distributors. We click on distributors, View, Design View, and we take a screenshot of our field names and data types. So we crop off what we don't need. We enlarge it. So that is our evidence. Okay, so we can just go back to datasheet view. If you want to, you don't have to datasheet view for both of the tables. So let's just check if everything is fine. So we just go back to this part. So we showed the evidence for both of those tables. And just in case, so just be careful with this evidence. I notice it shows field names, data types. You might be tempted to take a screenshot of basically the table with the information. But just beware, this is not a correct screenshot because it might have the field names at the top, but it doesn't say what the data types are. These are just values in your table or records. Only in this view can you see the data types for each of those fields. So the very last thing, we'll just do the evidence and step 25, or in other words, evidence with step 25. So it says create a one-to-many relationship as a link between distributor code in the distributor table and distributor field in the cars table. Okay, so if you want to create relationships, you go to Database Tools, Relationships, you add the two tables in, or how many tables you have imported into your access. Just extend each of these little blocks with the fields in so you can see all the fields clearly. And they tell you what to link. They said the distributor code in the distributor table. So the distributor code in the distributor table, it's this one over here. You need to link that with distributor in the cars table. With distributor in the cars table. So it is to drag it and you hit create. So you drag this field to this field, hit create, and this is the link. So they say take a screenshot showing a relationship between the two tables and insert a copy of the screenshot into your evidence document. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take two screenshots. I'm going to take a screenshot of this. Let's go down. This is evidence 4. This is evidence 4. I'm going to paste it, crop off what we don't need. So I'm just going to make sure we have that image. And relationships is visible at the top there. It's got the tab open. And then I'm just going to show the type of relationship that is formed. So to do this, you double click on this line. There's a relationship type. It's a one-to-many between these fields. So I'm going to take a screenshot of this. And that should be fine. So just be careful. They might not ask you for the type of relationship. But just read the relationship question carefully, what to take evidence of. So there we go. Okay, so I hope that is alright. So in this video, we basically imported the two tables we wanted to use, and we formed the relationships. So just let me know if you have any questions about that. So you have a step-by-step guide on how to do this. Thanks.